say what needs to be said. In 2022, a trade from the Kansas City Chiefs to the Miami Dolphins had fans confused and one fan base super excited. Now, after winning the Super Bowl in 2019 and gaining over 2,500 yards in the next 2 seasons, why would he be traded? Many fans started to speculate. Now, after the 2021 draft, Dolphin fans were excited about their draft pick, a speedy speedster who tore college football up with his speed and connections that he had with quarterback on the team, Tua Tagovailoa. Everyone felt that Tua needed help to be successful, and this was the perfect pick for him to succeed, being that they already had a connection. And that year was okay for Tua, but it would be a breakout year for the first-year rookie receiver, going over 1,000 yards in 16 games at the end of his campaign. Now, head coach Mike McDaniels had a vision. He knew would propel Tua to the next level, and he followed through on that vision. So in the following year, 2022, Dolphins made a blockbuster trade with the Chiefs in exchange for a first-round pick, second-round pick, and a fourth-round pick in 2022. Now, this trade will change the dynamics of the Dolphins' offense and how defense will cover the Miami Dolphins' offense in the future. They will need to figure out how to defend this offense. And this vision made Tua one of the top leading candidates in the MVP discussions right now, today. So Mike McDaniels is doing a hell of a job. When it comes to Kyle Shanahan, he took over the head coaching duties in 2017 and started to build the team the way he envisioned it to be. And in 2019, Shanahan selected 2 significant picks in that draft, which was Nick Bosa with the 2nd overall pick and Deebo Samuels with the 36th overall pick. In 2020, Shanahan drafts with the 25th overall pick in the first round this rookie receiver named Brandon Ayuk. And this pick is to establish a decent core wide receiver room at the time. Now things are much more than just decent. And Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniels have both been diligent in their process building these teams, and it's showing tremendously, and the teams are playing well. Not only are they diligent, but they're also super creative when it comes to designing plays and using these players to create matchups to their advantage. For example, the way Shanahan uses Deebo Samuels and motions him around to eventually get him in the backfield and run that football, that's just a weapon right there. The screens and stuff like that. And Brandon Ayuk, he continues to get better. And he is slowly, if he hasn't already, becoming Brock Purdy's number 1 target, his number 1 go-to guy. Now, we got George Kittle, of course, but I'm feeling like, and it's looking like to me, that Brock Purdy's number 1 target, or the one he feels most comfortable looking for, is Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk is the leading receiver on the team right now with 881 yards and is currently on pace to have a career year. And Deebo Samuels is a unique talent, right? He has a very, very extremely strong lower body and great balance for a wide receiver, more like a running back playing wide receiver. He is very hard to tackle, which makes him a valuable asset to Shanahan's game plan and the way he built his team and the plays and the way he want to orchestrate things. He fits perfectly, and he knew what he was drafting. Now, he only played 9 games this season and yet to go over 100 yards receiving in a game because he's used multiple ways, and they have a lot of weapons on the team. They got running back, McCaffrey, Kittle. They have tons of weapons. I'm trying to bring this whole thing together so we can make this a fair comparison. Now, Tyreek Hill, on the other hand, has undeniable speed that makes life much easier for a quarterback, any quarterback, right? Tyreek has 1 game over 200 yards and 200 yards receiving, and 7 games over 100 yards receiving. But here is the big difference. Tyreek was targeted 170 attempts last season and has 120 attempts already this season so far before this recording, all right? And Brandon Ayuk, he was targeted 114 times last season and has 65 targets so far this season. And we all know Tyreek is on pace to go over 2,000 yards receiving. We all know that, right? I'm bringing this all together. Now, George Kittle, he plays a significant role being the 2nd leading receiver on the team. He split some of the opportunities from Brandon and Deebo, limiting their targets, right? The Dolphins, they also have a lot of weapons, but not a premier tight end like George Kittle that will split up receptions from the two main targets, right, between the players. So I think that's a little advantage right there for Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, right? But it's obvious who gets the more attempts and who is the more featured player on their offense. And we all know and we see that that's Tyreek Hill. But I want to know, who is the better duo at receiver? Is it Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle? Or is it Deebo Samuels and Brandon Ayuk? Which one presents more for their team or can do more? We know the speed that Tyreek has and he takes the top off, but we've seen that speed been shut down and been limited. And, when they put certain coverages, like Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots did, Christian Gonzalez did a great job, and a few other teams did a good job. But just because you're targeted so many times doesn't necessarily just make you a better player. That's where I'm trying to fit this in. If you want to go by the numbers, yeah, the Dolphins have it. But if you don't just go strictly by the numbers, you break it down a little bit and understand one is premiered on the offense and featured, and one is, not, and is targeted way more than other. Who is really the better core, the duo at receiver? Who does more for their team? Is it Deebo Samuels and Brandon Ayuk? Like I said, Deebo can go in the backfield, screens, block, a lot of things. Tyreek Hill, he can go in the backfield. He can screen and block. And Jalen Waddle, man, we didn't say too much about him, but he can take the top off of defense at any time, just like Tyreek Hill. His numbers are down a little bit because it seems like Tyreek and Tua is looking for Tyreek more and more and more. He seems like he's being obsessed with it a little bit. And I get it. He's an exceptional player with an exceptional speed that can, score from anywhere. So it can make you look for him a lot of the times. But you can't forget to leave Jalen Waddle out and, things of that nature. So let me know what you think and how you feel about these two duos and who is the better duo. Mr. Pick 6, man. Like I said, next time, I'm out.